Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial in which I'm going to show you how we can use these 3D models as a reference, which are based on the Herman Miller polychair line, and use those as three-dimensional blueprints to rebuild new replicas of this. When you're new to industrial design or 3D modeling, this is actually a very good exercise also to do, because on the one side, it helps you to sharpen really your 3D modeling skill, because you can learn from how things look, but they also teach you how things are maybe constructed, how the engineering thoughts are being put together. We can see here we have, for example, a normal leg base, a sled base, a wooden dowel, a star base. And if we look from the bottom, now we can see how all these elements are configured to be structurally sound, for example. These files I actually got from the Herman Miller website. They are available in different formats. I downloaded, converted them, and then actually scaled them down onto the size for a child, in case you later might ask yourself about the dimension, because these models are smaller than the official versions. To work along, the reference file is available and the download link is inside the description of this video. So please go ahead, download it. To open it, simply start Fusion, go open, navigate to where you downloaded the file, and then you will see actually this. Okay, there we are. Perfect. Let's get started. So we will start with chair number one. If we look at it, first thing what I would do is try to study it. So I'm paying attention to the legs. I can see the back one is less angled, the front one is more angled. They're rounded corners. They follow actually nicely the curvature of the shell. There's a curve. This is constructed. There we have rounded edges. And the backrest itself, as we can see from this view, the backrest to the top is getting more narrow. I go to the top view. Oh, I can see the same here. This gets more narrow. This is arced. There's a slight arc. And also from the side. Oh, interesting. Now this is flat. And then here we have an arc, lumbar support, and then this goes back. So again, I'm looking at existing designs. Is when you're a student, really good to study how things were made. Okay, so this shell looks very complicated because it's very organic. It is actually very easy to create when you're using T-Splines or subdivision surface modeling. In Fusion360, we have this when we are inside the direct modeling mode. Now you can see the timeline is actually turned off. We can get this inside the form menu. Here we are. We have all our basic primitives, some basic modeling tools, and then more modeling tools here in symmetry. I will go over how to use all those. So we will start actually with a plane. Think about this as a piece of paper, which we're going to extrude and bend into the shape. So we're not reusing actually sketches for this. We just direct model that shell. So I click on this part, click on the bottom sketch, and then I simply click on the center. I, from the beginning, want to work symmetrical, so this is important. Drag this one out. How big this is doesn't really matter. Then left, right, I drag this to the left, and then this one I drag to the right. So I just have one rectangle. So you should see faces 1, 1, and okay, very good. Perfect. Then I can go to edit form. This is now the main tool to manipulate this geometry. We have here various transform modes, coordinate systems, and do I work with a point? This is a point. Do I work with an edge, with a face, or can I select all at the same time? I would go with this one. So I simply click on this face, and then I can move this one up, There we are. And I bring this up to the front corner. Then if I go to the top view, you see here I can scale this. I will go actually to kind of like the width at the hip area. Very good. Now I click on this front edge, bring this back, click on this edge, and then bring this one back to here, kind of like. And then I go to a side view, roll this down. Okay, this one now actually can go up a little bit. And you see how I'm trying to lay actually these edges and align this with the flow of that. Yeah, kind of like this part. Good. So now we have a nice, beautiful rectangle. How do we get this into this nice curvature? The next step is actually very important. So we go to a side view, and you have to, on a Mac, it's the Option key. On a PC, I assume it's the Alt key. You have to press and hold it. And you see here, there is actually a rectangle. This only allows me to move this point up, point to the right, and this one goes up and to the right or sideways at the same time. So hold the Alt key or Option key and then click and drag. And you see it actually drags a new piece out. And I go to the midpoint here and release the mouse. I still hold actually the key on the keyboard one more time and one more time. Middle mouse button, scroll up, and one more time, and I try to just release it there. Okay, now we can release the keyboard too. And there you see actually we extruded out kind of like this organic form. That's the nice thing about T-Splines. Think about it like you're working with a flexible material which we can sculpt. Like wire mesh modeling. This is actually what it is. No, because we have all these edges, we can manipulate the topology. So, for example, we see that this edge got a little bit higher. So I can select this and then move this down a little bit. This does not really fully flow where it should be. So I go to a side view, and now what I'm doing, or what I have to do is push and pull everything and then reposition it till I kind of like get that flow I'm actually looking for. There, sometimes we have to move them up a little bit. So it's kind of like a piece of plastic. Now, if you bend it, it always wants to, let's say, de-stress itself, which is why now I need to figure out where do I put this to. I'm going to make this arc here a little bit bigger, and then here, this actually now I will move up a little bit there. Very good. When I select this edge, I can also press delete. Probably have to stop actually this edit mode, cancel it, and then I press delete, and you see how now this edge was actually removed. We can also add actually a new edge, insert edge. Which edge do I have to select? This one. Wait, that's not the way. Here, there, okay, this thing goes that way. That's not what I want. There. Okay, there you can see how do we now we can slide, cut a new edge right in the center there. And then you see how the whole geometry updates again. So we can extrude new geometry out and by this create new edges on the fly. Or as you see what I did, we just simply add new edges on the go afterwards. Very good. So I think we are pretty close to say this is actually really good. This would be perfect. For example, if we just want to have a very simple bent plywood shell. There is actually here a thicken command. There it is. And that then extrudes or thickens this. So we take the shell and give this a specific dimension. We want to, however, create this nice curvature. How do we do this? Well, to bend, for example, this edge into this C shape, well, what are we missing? We are missing points here at the center. So let's go ahead. We go to Insert Edge, and that's not the edge I want. I select all these edges. I think there we can click on all those. 50%, that's very important. You see, when I slide this, it goes from 0 to 1. So left or right, and 0.5 is exactly the center. There we are. And with this now, I go back, select this edge, and just start pulling it down. And I can pull this point down. Pull this point up again. So this will be a little bit of forward and backwards till kind of like we get that flow we are looking for. Maybe this has to go down a little bit. Yeah, there we are. A little bit down, a little bit up. But as you can see, it's only a matter of some time and tweaking till we have really the result we're actually looking for. Now here, these edges, for example, are not, or here I select these two edges, move this forward there. So now actually we are at this rim. Now we can pull this back. Yeah, okay, good. Maybe hide the mesh. Then we can take a look at the design we have. It's actually not too bad. Here's actually one problem. So about the topology, I will move this a little bit more to there and maybe this maybe to here. So you see what I'm trying to do is that these edges are kind of like perpendicular to their other lines. See, that's perpendicular, perpendicular. That helps later with having a nice even, well, I call this topology. The cleaner this topology is, the smoother, more perfect our surface will look later. I would say actually that the shell is, in theory, good. Well, what's missing is, well, as we can see, doesn't really work perfectly. So now what we have to do is fold actually these sides over there. Problem is I have to do this on the left side and the right side. That's a lot of work, can invite mistakes. So I'm selecting the edges here and press delete. Don't worry. We just removed half of the model, and then we go to symmetry, mirror duplicate, select this body, the plane is here. Again, that's the reason why I started from the beginning, modeling from the center, because this mirror line goes along this plane. We can also do a weld, no? So it's one piece, very nice. If it doesn't, if you have a small gap, there's a tolerance to snap these edges together. Works really good. Click OK, there we are. So because we have this interactive symmetry, what we can do now is when we select one point, you see the other point actually reacts to it. Okay, this is a line. So instead of moving all these points in, I will actually select all these edges, and then I will look from behind. That's easier to see. And then nope, this is I'm not what I'm clicking on here. I want to reposition this pivot point. So now I can put this to there, click OK, thank you. And I am going to rotate this now. You see now how all these edges are rotated exactly nicely together. Very good. There we are. Cool. This will actually not make the design follow the surface as much as we had this before. That's good. Maybe a little bit of a rotation here. Very good. Yeah, that's good. This is our first time we do this. We don't have to be super perfect. And then here, this one actually I bring down and move forward. And by bringing this down, you see I'm creating actually this C shape. Beautiful. Okay, so the same we also do with this one. So reposition the pivot to there. Thank you. Rotate this. There we are. Let's go to a side view. Yeah, looks good enough. Maybe just a notch of a rotation. And if this is too much, we can manually enter the amount. So see, even half a degree is actually having a good impact. Beautiful. Look at this. You see, such a complicated shape, just rebuilt very easily with a methodological, I can't say this word correctly, methodische in German, method using T-Splines and then yeah, kind of like doing subdivision surface modeling. This is very similar to the way how you work in Blender, for example. It's just polygon modeling, to be honest. This is polygons? Yes, it is. If you go here to Utilities, Display Mode, and you click on this, we have 3 stages. That's a raw polygon model. This is what we built. Then this shows the smooth version, including the original cage. And then this is actually the smooth display. Perfect. This I switch quite often forward and backwards to make sure that, for example, lines don't self-intersect or so. Okay, perfect. So what can we do now to build actually the shell? We folded this T-spline surface over the top of the chair. So now we can actually use that to create a solid. And we have the thicken here. And then we click on our T-spline surface, and I would like to go minus to a 1/4 inch, or is it maybe 0.3 of an inch? 0.4. Now with this, you can see you can specify how thick actually this material should be. Very good. So now there we have it. Nice and evenly thickened. To make this shell less painful, we can round these edges. I'm a little bit off here with that surface, so I can go to the press and pull, select this face, move this up a little bit. Yeah, that is actually good. Here, maybe, oh, hold on. What are you doing here? Stop. Ah, I was still in that command, and I didn't say that this was okay. Good. Oh, I guess I can do this one more time. There. Extend this a little bit. You see, this is very easy. Click OK. And yeah, we're actually very close. Good. So to round then everything, we can select these 2 upper edges. Then we go to fillet and simply round it. And we can pay attention to how big of a radius they have here till it maybe matches what we have. So it looks like 1.5, 1.6. Yeah, well, it looks like 1.5 is what they used. Our basis or our shell is a little bit wider than theirs. That's not really a problem. And then we can go to the front and we do exactly the same here. Again, select these 2 edges, fillet, and round this. This is actually bigger. Looks like nearly 2 inches. Cool. Okay, beautiful. Now sharp edges, please. We select 2 edges. Tangent chain is turned on, which is why you see like these closed blue loops, and maybe 0.125 divided by 2, enter there, like a really nice fillet. This looks good. Actually, our shell is done. There we are. Look at this. This is beautiful. Because we are in direct modeling, not parametric modeling, what we can do is now actually make a variation of this. Copy and paste. Maybe I would like to create a thicker version. So just for demonstration purpose, let's say we go with 1/2 inch of material. And you see now then we essentially make a new model and we can compare these individual versions. We can keep this inside the design when kind of like to document what we explored. And if something is just not making sense, like this one, oh, we just delete it, take it out. Very good. And then here, this one we can call seashell. Beautiful. Okay. Now let's take a look at how we can do the legs. They might actually look very complicated. This is at an angle, this is at an angle. If we look from the side, looks straight, slightly an angle, and then there are arcs below, which perfectly follow actually the seed shell, and then we have these horizontal pieces. That looks intimidating complex, but in real life, I, for example, would select the shell, and then I take tubing and try to bend the tubing till it follows, for example, this curvature perfectly. We're going to do exactly the same, just via sketches. I will show you what that means. Works very easy. In general, the way how we work in the woodshop is really also, or in the prototyping shop, is also the way how we can approach 3D modeling, because in the end, we have to produce this stuff anyway. So use the tools and methods and think about what are the digital tools representing the prototyping workshop. So these 2 legs are at an angle. I will start first by actually creating, I could go ahead with a construction plane. There we are. And for example, this construction plane, now I can move and rotate it. Positioned it kind of like on this edge. So I kind of like can see maybe to what degree does this line up. Oh, this looks actually good. And then I try to center it there. Okay. Yeah, that worked actually pretty good. If I now select this construction plane, I can create a sketch now on this plane. You see, there we are. Go to the front view, and now I will try to draw here my line. So roughly here, I would say is the center of actually the leg. Then this goes down plus minus to here. I make this a little bit longer. That's all good. And there we are. Very good. And I quit my sketch. I can go to the right side. I see now, this is a little bit too low now, so I can click this point, press M to move, and then actually I slide this one up. Kind of like to there. We're not trying to work too precise. We're trying to work actually rather fast. And the main reason for that is I want to explore the ideas. And then here, this one I extend up. I pressed M for the movement command too. So this is kind of like a line that's in the center of my leg. How do I do now the pipe below? Because later, look at this, we have here a pipe command. And I need to draw something that I can grow this pipe along. When I go and edit the sketch again, we can see how this construction plane cuts the shell. Can I trace actually that? Now we do a lot of tracing in real life. And yes, actually there is something. It's simply called intersect. I intersect this plane with this geometry. Okay, and there is actually my thing I was looking for. Now the pipe, we're going to make 1/2 an inch. And this actually then needs to be offset 1/2 of that, so 1/4 inch. Is there an offset command? Yes, there is. There's the offset command for sketches. Can select this, bring this down, 0.25 of an inch. Beautiful. Very nice. Okay, now I will take a look at kind of like where this arc later ends. We can see this, so roughly there. So that means, I need to trim this line there. I'm drawing myself here a line just as a helper, plus minus there. And there's the trim command. So I use this line to just trim this piece off. Suck, cut. And this I can delete this. I can also, if I want to work clean, do the same there. So there, this is gone. And now this piece I do not want to move at all. So I select it and say fix, so lock it. Also this point I don't want to move. There, I lock it. Okay. This is blue, so this can still move. Why did I do this? Check this out. Here I will come in now with my arc command. Click, click, move this up. Click. There is a tangent C. So this arc follows tangent C into this line. And now I want this arc to flow G1 tangent into this offset curve. And when I click it, you will see how, wow, what happened here? Okay, let's delete this. Let's do this one more time. Sometimes Fusion can be a little bit cranky. There and there. Okay, didn't do it. Yeah, I love this when this happens. This is perfect. Okay, maybe I try something else. Okay, I'm not going to re-record this and fix this because I think bugs are something that always will follow us. So it's good to show you how I solved that problem. So you see how I drew actually the arc and the line, and then I established the tangency constraints. And can I now bring this down to this point? Yeah, okay. So this glued together, this line I can delete. There's still a little bit of a broken thing, so don't touch this. Okay, interesting. So there's still something breaking. I have an idea maybe why this is so. First, actually, let's give this a radius. 1.5. Does this actually look similar to 1.5? No, it's actually maybe 1.25. Maybe actually it's just 1. No, this is too small, 1.1. I'm trying to pay attention to, yeah, there this ends. So this looks actually very similar. Goody. Okay. So, this actually still works. So I will simply do the following in this case. Now you see here this line is a little bit longer. I just repositioned it. Thank you. This is good. Okay. I leave the sketch. I go to a side view. There you can see how this works. Let me show you actually another little trick. I will create a sketch. No, not there. So the sketch I delete. I would like to create a sketch on this plane. And then actually here I just make a line and I make with L another line, and they're horizontal and vertical, they're parallel, perfect. So when I do this, it's actually very helpful, because if I go to the sketch for these legs there, you see that this is where the center point is, but this is where the ground is. Can I bring this actually in? Can I find an intersection? And yes, we can. So intersect this new sketch with that other sketch. Yes. And why is that useful? Because now I can say, hey, you and you be horizontally aligned. And that pulls actually this point right up to the ground plane. And then all I can do is move this left and right to change the angle. Welcome to CAD. There's always multiple ways how you can do this. Okay, so this is done. Here's the pipe command. We can click on this. 0.5 of an inch. That shouldn't really cut. It's cutting there somewhere, or maybe it's just really touching it. It's fine. New body, flop. There we are. You see, easy peasy. And if we go to the side view, that's really nicely touching the ground. Okay, let's actually do the back leg. Same process. We can make a construction plane, bring that over. So now there's that construction plane technique we did. So make a new construction plane, this one, bring this over. Okay, then I can select this plane and from a side view, position it and rotate it. It's easier to see this on the outside. Yeah, close. There we are. And then we try to center it. Cool. Okay. So same deal here again. So I will create a sketch. There we are. I will from the beginning do also this intersection. There we are. Then now we need to draw this line, which goes to maybe somewhere there. Okay, very good. Since we have now this point, we can horizontally, vertically constrain it. With M, we go to the move command, bring this over. Very good. Press M. Now I'll move this over and maybe move this down. Oh, when I drew this line, I actually added a vertical constraint. It always just moved it left and right. There we are. Thank you. Cool. Okay, now we need the same intersection, tracing actually the bottom of the shell. There we are. And you noticed exactly same process. That's really the nice thing about 3D modeling. You need to learn how to create the basic shapes. And then basically once you master that, It's honestly just taking a look at what shapes do you have in front of you and how can you use the available tools to rebuild what you have. Fix it. Very good. There's now my arc command. Click, click. There we are. And tangency to that. Let's see. This time it doesn't flip out. Cool. Thank you. You notice I wasn't really able to select the arc. I needed to turn off the mesh. Turn it back on. 1.25. Actually, 1.1. Oh, yeah, there. Let's go 1.1. That's all good. Perfect. We don't want to rebuild. I mean, the goal is not to rebuild this perfectly. This is really more learning actually from these designs, how something was built. There we are. Look at this. See, it's it's not very complicated. Also, these legs that you see from the sides is all flat because it's going to be put onto a vise or system, and then we just bend them into the position we need. So these pipes don't go, they're not bent in along two different axes. It's just one axis only. How do we do the connection part? That's actually very easy. Same process again. Construction plane. This time I use this one and bring this to connect the center. There we are. Thank you. Now, and then same way, sketch on this construction plane, intersect this shell. Thank you. There, go down 0.25. There we are. And that's actually all we need. We're not going to trim the stuff. I show you how we trim the geometry. Then we're going to shell this a new body. Now every engineer is going to laugh at me because it's exactly the same the dimension. No, the pipe, so diameter is the same. I mean, we can do it this way. We're actually going to make this a tick smaller because you can see what will happen where these two pipes are meeting each other. So now this means if we actually make the pipe smaller, we can drill smaller holes into this lead pipe and then weld the stuff in it. If we make them equal, it's a little bit more complicated. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. It's all good. Okay, beautiful. These pipes I all dissolve. Very good. And the shell I hide. So now we have this system. I go to combine and join everything together. And then I simply do the following. To remove this, I select the faces and press delete. Thank you, direct modeling. Clock. It repairs it for us. Perfect. It's kind of like using an eraser. We need to mirror this over. There's the mirror command. There, and along there, and join. So it's one piece. Thank you. 4 legs. And the last thing maybe to do is we can select these edges and then do a fillet. We're simulating, for example, that there is actually kind of like a cap. Maybe 0.125. Okay. And there we have it. Now, so this was actually not really that complicated to do. Because we have the shell and the leg, and the shell is done, so we don't have to do this for the other chairs. And the configuration we did for this leg, now we can just turn on and off, turn on and off. And this is now where, for example, the next step comes in very useful. So here I would like to, for example, create an upholstery. No? So how is that, for example, possible? I turn actually the shell off, and I would like to see this, and then I will go to the thicken command. I use this, and I'm pushing this up till, yeah, let's say it goes over kind of like, yeah, that part. Okay. That's kind of okay. There. And then this one here, I will go in and push and pull and bring this back. Make this smaller. We're going to save ourselves some time. So this body I will split by this plane. There we are. So I can select this body and throw it out. And then here I will push and pull this back. You have to be a little bit careful, not too much. There. Okay. Now here we have an edge. Yeah, okay. Let's round it. There we are. Let's make this nice and round. 1.125. And if we look here, so there is a cut. How can we take a look at this ideally really well? I go to the side view and then I go to inspect and say section analysis. Click on this plane, rotate my view, flip this. Thank you. Go back to this view, click OK. Maybe I turn this one off. There I can see, well, all that crazy junk that's inside the model from Herman Miller, but also the angle here. Okay, so that's very useful because I can go ahead, make a sketch from this view, and then simply draw a line, kind of like perpendicular like this. Okay, I think sketches were hidden. There we are. The site analysis, the section analysis, I can turn off. I can turn off this. I can turn off this. There's this half piece, and I use this sketch as a tool to split. There, see that now? Clock. There's that body that can go. This sketch here I created. I can delete the, don't need it. Yeah, and then I go ahead. Let's actually round this carefully. There's a little bit of an issue. The surface slightly is intersecting with each other a little bit, so you might have to be a little bit careful. Up there, it still did it. Very good. And right click, repeat, and then we do a second filleting task. Bring this down. Oh, I need to actually see where my shell is. So there. Okay, good. That's wonderful. So the upholstery is actually intersecting with the shell, I think. Oh no, it's sitting right on it, so that's perfect. Oh, and then here, mirror this one along this internal face, join, thank you. Upholstery. There. And now we used a different radius here, so this is a little bit smaller. If we made this bigger, it could follow this a little bit more. But you see, for the rest, now follows actually the curvature really well. So super easy. We essentially reuse what we created to continue working. So we don't have to always start from scratch. Work smart, not hard. I mean, you should work hard too, but you shouldn't make it unnecessarily complicated. So this one is good. This one is good. We can hide those. Can we actually create folders there? No, we cannot. So you see here we have lots of sketches now. At one point it makes sense to give those names. These construction planes here I could keep or delete them. The mirroring here, this actually I will dissolve. So all this is gone. And we are actually now ready to take a look at how we can rebuild this. We will simplify this a little bit. There's a change in direction here. And I will show you a technique how we can build kind of like a sled base by using actually a 3D body along we pipe our, well, sled base. That sounds maybe confusing. Check this out. It's a really old school technique. Many today don't know it anymore, but I still find this actually very often very useful. You see how I am actually creating from a side a sketch that plus minus captures kind of like this design, huh? Yeah. So, and then this, yeah, I think I can drag this one up, this line, and you see if I zoom out, the sketch actually gets bigger or smaller. I could, for example, bring this line right up to the midpoint, which probably is plus minus here. Or to be really precise, there. So this is now on the ground. Give me 1 second. Let me perfect actually. This is centered and this is centered. So now I could go with the move command and actually move this up by half of an inch. No, quarter of an inch. But I leave this actually right now. I'll show you why. So this piece is actually good. Now we exit the sketch and we're going to extrude this out a little bit till, let's say, here. So roughly there. It is cutting, so make sure new body. Bonk. There we are. This goes straight down. We can rotate that face. Rotate face along this edge here. I don't really know how much. -2. Yeah, -2 degrees. That looks good. Okay. And if we want, right click repeat, then there along this back edge, we rotate the, oh no, that was the wrong rotation widget. Come on, there we are. Here, I need to use this one. Oh, I hit this pretty good. Okay, there we are. That's good enough. We, in a previous task, we actually kind of like with a pen, digital pen, retrace the shape of the shell. And we will do something similar. We're actually using this shell or this surface to split this volume. So split body. So this is my body to split, and the splitting tool will be this one. That should perfectly work. Yeah, it does. Okay. So this is the leftover. Yeah, look at that. No, pretty nice. It does actually work really good. You might still probably now be confused about, okay, so how do we get actually the pipes over it? Well, now we have to round everything. So there's a rounding and there's a rounding. So that means this edge and this edge we round. There we are. Okay. The front edge is a little bit too big. I can click OK. And then I go to press and pull, select this fillet, and then just simply bring this back, say 1 inch. Yeah, okay. And so, because this means the pipe comes down there, and now it should go over to there, which means I have to round now this edge. And there I'm rounding it. Oh, nearly made a mistake. This is flush under the shell. I need to move this down. Kind of like, you know, with the sketch, we did an offset of that curve, and now we do the same here. We kind of like do an offset, minus 0.25. Thank you. Nearly forgot it. So we have enough surface for the pipe actually to run under it. There you see that, no? There's actually our 3D sketch. I just don't create the sketch. Traditionally, I simply make a 3D model and I use the edges as a 3D sketch. This is actually flush on the ground, so we have to move this up. You see, I can actually do this too. I select that face and I can move everything up and down. So minus 0.25. So lifting this up. So the sketch is actually really my basic parameter volume, and then I solve the rest via 3D modeling. And there is the pipe, 0.5, and as a new body, okay. There we are, you see? Super easy. Sure. All that's left is, well, we need to make a mirror. Mirror, this one, along there, join. And there is now our sled base. So this piece here I could call a sled base volume. Just keep this simply as a reference. So if I want to create different versions of the sled base, I could always go ahead, modify this part, and then always produce another piece. But as you can see, this was actually very easy to do. And it didn't really have any complicated sketching involved. This worked really, really well. Look from the top. No, that's respectable. Okay, very good. I'm going to take a small pause. I'm back. Let's take a look at chair number 4. What do we have here? There's actually the wooden dowel design. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, let's study this a little bit first. So it looks like the legs are kind of like nearly perpendicular onto that surface, and there is a base under the chair that seems to be, yeah, perfectly offset. And then there is this pattern actually cut into it. Okay. And this pattern looks like it's being cut straight up. Okay, so we know that we need to offset the surface of the chair down, and then from the bottom we need to, well, kind of like draw something similar like this. So we can attach the wooden dowel legs to it, and then we attach the shell onto it. Okay, very good. So how can we do this actually really easily? One way, and that's the nice thing about direct modeling, is we actually design the leg one time and then we copy and paste and rotate it into the position. So let's do that actually. I will go ahead, make myself a sketch. And actually, hold on, before I do that sketch, here I will delete that sketch. I will do the following to make things a little bit easy. So I make a copy of this piece, bring this over, and then I rotate this. Now, so I have kind of like a nice vertical helper. Yeah, let's say like this. Very good. Okay. Goody. Now I make that sketch. And then here, for example, this goes straight up. I make this a little bit bigger. That's fine. You will see later why. Then one line over, then line down and back. Okay. So this piece here a height. This one maybe I lock so it can't move. Then this one I make horizontal. This is vertical. Very good. Actually, I now noticed that my model actually is here centered, but not there. I need to get new glasses. It's okay. We can reposition that pivot to there. Thank you. And then I'm simply rotating this a little bit more. It's snapping. Tick too much, 1.5. Yeah, plus minus, that seems to be good. So this one now I can click and drag. Yeah, this looks good. Let's give this a quick test. So that's my profile, that's my leg. Yeah, look, actually that works pretty good. Okay, so here, this piece we don't need anymore. We can delete it. We have actually our prototype. Okay, so this piece now I can select and then make myself a copy, move this over to here, and then I rotate it there, move this up to there. Okay, go to this view, bring this over to there, and then from this view, I'm going to rotate it. And you notice now, that was actually pretty easy. You can create everything with crazy 3D sketches. I actually come from various 3D programs, so the way how I work is really a mixture of all those. This is also in direct modeling, so we not our super precise engineering way how we work. We are more quickly exploring ideas. And this is just super fast to do. Perfect. First leg is done. That's good. Then we need to make a copy. This time I will actually make a copy of this body. And you see how I try to put the widget right at the center of the disk. Make a copy. Because then I can actually visualize this more right really at the center. There we are. And rotate it. There. Let's go to the back view. Bring this over. Center it. Should be there. And there we are. Easy peasy. This is all good. This is actually rounded. 0.125, my most favorite number. So the legs actually are sticking through. That's really absolutely no problem. We need to have our shell now. So actually, no, we don't need the shell. We need this one. From that one, no, we need to create a new offset surface. But this time we go the opposite way. Look at that. Bonk. 100% sure that when they actually worked on this, designed it, that's the way how they created this. Then now we go to the bottom, and here we're going to create now a sketch. There we are. Very good. And We're going to do this a little bit simplified way. So I need to have a circle there and a circle there. But now I would like to know where perfectly is actually the leg intersecting with that shell. So let me show you something. We will do it actually a tick different. I just realized that. Because I want to draw this perfectly where these legs already are. No? So first step maybe to do is this one. We split so we have less work. This body then we delete. Thank you. Now I will go say split you by actually, let's say, yeah, this surface, that's fine. Split you by this surface. Thank you. And there you can see already now what we have there. Here's a little trick now. Check this out. I'm making this and this actually a little bit bigger, 0.25 of an inch. There are my rings. You see that? Ta-da! My that one is in my way. Actually, these legs are also in my way. There. Okay, now it's much easier to draw the stuff. I can actually project these circles into this sketch. So project, well, it's like a projector, as you can see. I projected it actually onto it. And I can, because this is not a circle, it doesn't have a center, I can give this a nice 0.5 of an inch wrong way offset. Minus 0.5. And then the same here. Minus 0.5. Very good. If I take a look at the bottom, okay, let's quickly verify. Yeah, that's a little bit aggressive. Minus 0.25. Minus 0.25. That is good. Okay. Can we change actually the view? Maybe just wireframe. Ah, yeah, that's now a little bit easier to see. And where is my base? There. Okay. Wow. It got a little bit bigger. It's all good. All good. So here we draw a line and a line and a line and a line. Very good. And then I draw here a line and a line to there. Very good. So I use the grid. I can also say here this point horizontally constrained to this center. Thank you. And this line horizontally. Thank you. And then I will go with an arc from there to there and from here to there. Very good. Yeah. That's all perfect. I'm going to hide this. And you see how I'm drawing two little extensions here. So these are helper lines because they will be useful to say this arc should be tangent to this line. So it flows in it. This line tangent to that thing. Oh. Whoa. What? Whoa, 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 whoa. No. Lock this so nothing changes. There. Okay. But so I want this actually to be tangent to there. And then seeps not really to work. Because properly this is not a real circle, I assume. So let's do a quick check. If we do something like this, I'm deleting this arc. Again, now this is a good demonstration of prototyping. Yeah, you see, so that actually worked. What do we do now? It's not a big deal. We can use these as references. Yeah, they're not perfectly circular. Because it's not a flat. These legs were rotated, so they're kind of like elliptical. Let's make them simply as a reference. And now this circle, we simply put into the right position. We can also dimension this, maybe 0.2. Wait, how much is this? 0.2, 2.2. Yeah, that's good. When we press M, then we can freely move this around a little bit more. Fusion didn't fix this dragging elements in the sketch. There we are. So this is good. I fixed this so it can't move anymore. Very nice. This line I would like to be tangent to this new arc. It complains about it, yeah, because this was actually drawn on that other offset piece there. Very good. And then here we do the same. Zip. Let's see. What's the dimension? 2.2. Click M. Yeah, roughly there. And then we lock this. Here again, this arc is not going to work. So I'm just simply redrawing the arc to make it easier. And then you tangent to there. You are tangent. And there we have to do the same. So this line I remove, put a new one in, and there. Okay. Oh, where is that arc coming from? There shouldn't be an arc. So this piece what we did here with an offset, honestly, we can keep, or I mean, to make the sketch easy to read, I simply delete this there. And those parts, for example, I can make construction so it's easier to see. It's up to you how you want to style your drawings. Okay, very good. Why did I actually drew these lines? I realized I didn't explain it. So this arc comes down and now goes tangent in this line, which means here the arc will perfectly continue. There won't be a kink. So what does this mean? Okay, here, one more time the explanation. You can clearly see that the arc is not going to flow smooth into that line. Now it does. And then how it continues will be half of a circle. That's the whole idea behind it. Okay, very good. We want, now this is all perfect. We can close the sketch and I think we have all our individual sections. Beautiful. So let's go back to visual style, visible edges only. Go, go, go. Yeah, you I would like to see. And now we're going to extrude all these profiles we selected and jam it through that piece. And then we switch the command to intersect. Click OK. And there we are. Where's our shell? There. You see? Ta-da! Here, these two edges we're going to round. That's the reason why I didn't do this in the sketch. It's easier to do later via 3D modeling. Where are my legs? So there's leg number 1, leg number 2. Very good. There's this piece and this piece. So these two I delete. Then I need to, from this, remove this shell and keep it. So I'm just trimming this down. Now you see how this is now smaller. These here I will extend. Why did I extend them? Well, I'm going to cut the holes now where those actually go into. Suck, suck, and keep. Thank you. And then I say split EU and EU split by this. Suck. And then suck, suck, and delete. Ah, look at that. Plop. There we have the hole. Easy peasy. It's like cutting holes into your Swiss cheese. Let's make a mirror command. There. Repeat. There. Very good. Yeah. Beautiful. We just realized the legs are a tick too short. They also have actually another piece that's stuck under it, so we could make half a dome and then position it. I'm simply going to use the move command and just bring this one down. So you see how I position this, and then I select this and this and move this face down, and then the fillet follows. There, very good. That's not an engine part. And where is, so this is actually, let's call this wooden dowel base. There. Dowel master. Dowel one. Actually, could say front, right. This is actually dowel back right and dowel front left and dowel was it back left. Okay, very easy. Let's take a look. Look at that now. You see how good this really works. It's very easy to do. Again, I hope you notice that I don't take shortcuts, for example, with kind of like here drawing only lines. I could have drawn the arcs in there, but that makes the sketch more complicated. We're not creating 2D models, we're creating 3D models. So I simply knew that, hey, that sharp corner, later I can round with a fillet command, because then I can also go ahead and always later adjust that fillet anyway. It's just smarter. And also with cutting these holes, like in real life, we would maybe take a knife and cut it through, but maybe I would also take some sandpaper, put this over the wooden dowel and then rotate it. So that's kind of like the reason why here I treated kind of like this base as foam, put the legs through and then cut it out. So I borrow a lot actually simply from how I assemble or build something as a prototype in the woodshop. Very good. So that chair is done. One left. There we are. How do we do this one? This actually looks very complicated. It's actually very easy. We will learn here a new tool, the loft command. And if we study this, we already know, okay, so this is actually an offset surface. And then we just create the sketch again. Here, this is a cylindrical pipe. And then we have this star base, which actually is, well, circular pattern. Okay, so I can use that tool for that. To create this blend, I can use the loft command. For this rotating part, I can use the revolve command. For the offset, well, I use the thicken command. Okay, very good. we're going to just rebuild a very simplified version of this design. It's actually a really nice base. Now also how they carved out areas to make this more less light, keep the sturdiness, and then this nice round. Okay, anyway, how do we start first ideally? I think the base is the easiest one. So I go to the bottom view. There we are. Make a new sketch on this plane. And then here again, I work smart by only putting in half of my needed sketch. There we are. I think maybe there. We learned previously when we want here a nice arc, I need to have a little bit of a helper to make the arcs flow tangent into those. This point I make horizontal. I can make this point horizontal, or this line is already horizontal. That's horizontal. Very good. And then here's now my arc tool. There I make U tangent. I make U tangent. Very good. And then this I bring over to there. This goes back. This is good. So I fix this, push this over. This is good. I fixed that one. There's an extra rounding. So I think this is good. And then this one I bring over till here, this aligns. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so that sketch is done. Don't need any more. There again is our initial T-spline body. There is the thicken command. Thank you, but the opposite direction. There we are. Yeah, let's say like this. Very good. And then this one I split first, so I have less work. Then I use the extrude command, cut this through, say intersect body, thank you. Then I can go ahead and round these edges. There we are. There's actually a little bit of a draft on it. I'm going to ignore this actually. It's a little bit more advanced. And here I round this a little bit. How does this look? Oh, that was actually a little bit too big. Can I change this radius? Yeah, and you see actually by changing this radius, it also adjusts the other secondary fillet too. So that's actually really nice. So right click, repeat. This is way too big. There. Right click, repeat. And there. Yeah, this looks good. Flop. Good enough for what we tried to do. Okay, so the next logical step is actually creating this piece, the center part. So I'll make a sketch. Now this is not lining up with the center, so I will go ahead and kind of like imagine this is maybe where the center is. Fusion sometimes creates these artifacts. When you click your first line, it creates these tiny pieces there. Just be aware of it. I have to clean this up actually. I bring this down a little bit to here, bring this over, bring this up, over, over, up till here, and then there's kind of like this endpoint. Escape. That piece I delete. This one I move up. Okay, I will do a quick study to see if this is actually sufficient. So you by you Yeah, it's a little bit off. It's fine. We could move the whole sketch a tick over. Maybe this one here has to move over just a notch. Yeah, this is pretty good. Okay, perfect. So that means now this line, to prevent this to move, I lock. I want the other pieces to be nice vertical, horizontal. There we are. I want these two to be flush. So you see how I made these horizontal or vertical. Or I could also say collinear. So you and you collinear, it's exactly the same deal. Then I will bring this a little bit further out. When we zoom in more, you see the grid gets finer. We can position this then a little bit better. Yeah. Okay. This goes in there. We can ignore this. We're just going to make a prototype. Okay, so this piece is kind of done. So zuck, zuck, zuck. There we are. This, for example, we can make a metal material later to show there's actually an inner cylinder, and then these get a different material. So how do we connect this actually to there? And that is actually pretty easy. First thing, what I will do is I'm going to mirror this over. So I have a full piece. Very good. And then this top plane, I will extrude upwards into this base. And when it starts intersecting, it's being joined. Because this is now one body, I can go ahead and select actually one edge and add a fillet. There we are. Beautiful. This works actually pretty good. To style this fillet, we can also change this to a G2 curvature. G2 means it's nicer and softer the way how it flows. G1, it's more like mechanical. There's the transition between this surface to this surface is not as smooth with G1 than G2. The downside of this process is you see here how we get this kind of like not so nice looking piece, the curve. I would like this to be more linear, and this looks pretty circular. So let me show actually step number 2. So I undo everything and I will do something similar again. I will actually extrude this one up a little bit, but as a new body. There we are. And then I will make this a little bit bigger. And from the bottom, I'm kind of like trying to pay attention to how much bigger I want to make this. Like this. That's good. Perfect. So we're going now to split actually these two faces with this cylinder. And splitting basically means we take a knife and we cut a new edge into that. There you see this. So this is not split body, this is split the surface. This little helper we don't need anymore. Now the next step is these faces I want to delete. I open it, but if I do this, you see I get the original state back. So let's actually switch to the surface command. And I go to unstitch and say you and you and you unstitch. Pay attention to what happens here. I do this now, and I have now actually this body, and I have these two bodies, and I can delete them. And now I have an open surface model. See, this is different. This is open. That's just a surface. That's a volume. And because we did that, we can now go to the surface command, use loft, and say, so these two plus to this ring. And with shift, I selected these two profiles. This actually lofts, as you can see, makes a blend. Also here, we can add G1 or G2 tangency. And with the loft, then there we can play a little bit more how we want one profile to start and how we want the other profile to start. So we have a little bit more control. It's very similar, but I really control the start and the end profiles. Very good. That's perfect. And then we go to stitch and stitch these three bodies back into a watertight. There we are. Beautiful. Okay, so how do we do now actually the star leg? This looks very complicated. It's very detailed. It's actually not really that complicated. It's very easy if you know how to build this easily, fast. There are obviously many ways. I showed just one very simple, effective way. First, I would like to make myself a copy of this piece. So this one, make a copy, position the pivot to there. Okay. And then, yep, okay. And I'm rotating me a copy out. There we are. This looks pretty good. So this one I can hide. Yeah, this makes later sketching a little bit easier. Good. Okay. Actually, I just realized I might not need this. Sorry for this. Actually, no, I was wrong. I need this because now if I go to a side view, you see now how this leg is actually, and this leg is lined up with this plane. That's the reason why I made this. Okay, so I'm going to this view because there I can see where my initial sketch for this body is. There we are. And I make a new sketch on here, and then I will go ahead and start clicking one time here. This should not be angled. Click there. Bring this to here. Okay. Then I start here, bring it over, bring this down onto the grid. Click. First thing I want to do is make sure this and this is center horizontally aligned. Very good. Then this point I can bring in. This point I can bring in. This is actually good, so I will lock this point and lock this point. Escape. Bring this one in. This looks good. I think also this is fine. So I lock this, the line, and then I can zoom in here. There, okay. And there, that is good too. Beautiful. Okay, I will hide actually this now. This is the rotation axis. I will project this one in, so I have a reference. So this one I connect, and then here I will draw a horizontal line so that I can, as you see, make a nice tangency connection and construction there. Beautiful. One last check. This is good. Beautiful. Actually, this point can go up a little bit. So wait, where is this point? Is it that one? I think. Press M. Yeah, there we are. Very good. Super duper. So what can we do with this now? We actually use the revolve command to create this. Yeah, I know this looks kind of funny, but hold on. This thing here. Now we're going to round a little bit. And then we can also round this a little bit. Okay, hold on. One more time. Right click, repeat. And there. For example, very good. Now, but this is not really the star base. While the star base we're going to cut now. So this is actually now where the original version comes in handy. So we make one last sketch there. And this is the construction plane. There's the grid. This goes over, this goes to there, this goes to there and back. Then this point should be centered to the sketch origin. These two should be equal. And now I can simply, oh, I have to put this one to there too. And then you go to there, you go to there. Oh, you see it already, no? So it's like very easy. You just need to see the geometrical shapes we want to design. Perfect. Turn this off, show this. Okay, this is way too small, so let's make this bigger. Then we're going to cut this out, but first as a new body. I want to verify that this is not intersecting, and it's not. That's perfect. So now I can round this edge if I want to. Or I do this actually later. So let's stop this. Now, because we have this cylindrical shape, we will go to the circular pattern, select this, and say, make me a circular pattern around this or this, doesn't matter. 4 times. There we are. And now we go modify, and from this one, we want 1, 2, 3, and 4 being cut out. Okay, there we are. Look at this beautifully cleaned up geometry. By the way, this is version 2 of my recording because the first time I didn't pre-plan this and I made some modeling mistakes, and then in the end I realized this is actually so much easier to do. I built an individual leg and then rotated it. In this case here, we simply build a base and then we cut the openings out. Anyway, we can now go ahead, select these vertical edges, and then reroute them a little bit. This looks beautiful. Right click, repeat, fillet. Then now we are rounding actually these edges because these vertical edges are rounded now. We have, as you can see, a really nice flow from one to the other side. Very good. These edges are a little, these fillets are a little bit too big. Okay, yeah. I'm going to select them. So all 4 faces. Then I go to fillet. Wah wah. I'm getting tired. Not fillet. Press and pull. Silly me. So now I can go to maybe this quarter view and round this till it starts. This is too small. This is definitely too big. I want to have a nice even material. Yeah, maybe like this. This looks better. It's not perfect, but hey, that's fine. This is just a study piece. And same deal, because all these other edges are rounded, filleted. no, this is very easy to round the inside. Bonk. There we are. This one here, we can... how do we do this? Oh, we just move this up. Sits in there, period. Actually, from this piece, we maybe want to have later a small cylinder. So here I'm extruding a new piece out, but as a new body. And then I will make this a tick smaller. Okay, thank you. Because now I can say, so you and you, please join together. Thank you. And then I can say from you, this one, cut out. Thank you. I see there is that base. Beautiful. I mean that hole. Little bit of a cleanup. Way too sharp edge. And can call this star base. And there we are. Look at this. No? Nice and clean. So I used very clean geometry. I shouldn't say simple geometry, clean geometry, because this really made actually designing this leg very fast and easy, less complicated problems. I do have some not so nice design features. Here you see this is thinner, this is thicker. So this edge, technically speaking, needs to get lower a little bit so I could rebuild that leg. That's all good. But for what we are trying to achieve here, learning how to build this is actually perfectly fine. So last cleanup, they are all the pieces dissolved. Very good. This one now, actually we could bring this to there. So it is inside this folder and nicely sorted. And yeah, so there are actually now all our individual versions. To, if we want, make a nice presentation of this line, we actually now can go ahead and say, so you and you, so you stay, you stay. So this one, we make a copy by how much? Let's say 18 inches. Thank you. And then, so here's the sled base. Move this over, 18. So this one, make a copy of this body. Again, 18. Whoops. Oh, wait. Careful, 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 careful. So just click this one. That's safer to do. Make a new copy, bring this over. And then this is an 18 multiplied by 2. There we are. And then there's the sled base. And then all those we can select, go to move. And then that is 18, so 32. No, 36. Yeah, very good. First grade math didn't fail me. And then here comes the last one. So here, this one, there, make a copy along the x-axis. So this is actually 18 inches multiplied by 3. Very good. And then this one, x-axis, 18 multiplied by 3. Beautiful. Let's turn actually this layout grid off. Take a look at what we have. House looks actually really nice. It's good. Perfect. And we are done.